morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time you're watching, whatever time you're listening. Welcome to Your Onion podcast show. Today we have a very special guest. His name is Ahmed Issa.
Yes, Ahmed Issa. You
Ahmed
pronounced it
Issa.
right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
So welcome.
Welcome.
So Ahmed, just give us a brief insight into, your current position, what you do at the moment.
So what I do now is I'm the co-founder of 9to5.ai. It's a hiring marketplace platform, which is powered by artificial intelligence. So what we do is we pre-vet all the candidates on our platform and match them with companies. So what we are trying to solve the problem is reduce the time in sourcing for companies, and they can focus more in their business, them focusing on spending time on sourcing the candidate, taking time and stuff. So we solve that problem, and that's where we wanted to. And basically, we have artificial intelligence on the back end that does all the sourcing. Basically, it takes all the words together and matches with the qualified candidate. Instead of having thousands of people applying, you have like a batch of 5 to 7 people.
Nice. All right. Well, let's go back in time.
Okay.
Where are you from? And what did you study? And how did you end up here in Qatar?
So I was born and raised in Qatar.
Okay.
But my family is from Somalia. My parents were here for around 35 years in Doha. My dad started his career here, started working here, moved to Doha, left his family behind. An entrepreneur where I've learned a lot of what I'm doing today is from him.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so he basically started in a company called Dabshil. It's a Somali money transferring.
Right.
So it's like kind of Western Union.
Yeah.
So he started his career there as an admin person, and then soon later on joined military. And while he was joining Qatar military.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Wow.
he joined Qatar military. And while he
why did he do that? If he was,
Yeah, he was doing that because back then they were not paying him that much. It was the beginning of career. But in the military, they were paying him a great salary and stuff. So he decided just to join the military. So while he was doing the work in the military, part-time, he was an entrepreneur. So what he was doing was he bought those heavy trucks.
Yeah.
So what happened was he bought 1 and 2 heavy trucks and started his journey as a part-time entrepreneur aside from his work.
Yeah.
And after that, he resigned from the military and went into the private sector. So what he did was he saw a big, huge demand in the market where it was the drivers were not getting paid on time. So he said, hey, all y'all drivers, how about y'all bring all your bills? I will take care of it. I'll go deal with the company directly.
Wow.
So he knew how to do. So he created that market for himself. So every driver that has a truck that dumps materials and go to construction site, they trusted him. Because at the end of the day, business is all about trust. So they trusted him and stuff there. So me, I was born in 1989, young kid, went to school here in Doha. Finished school here, went to university here.
What university did you go
I went to what they call, it's not university, it's like college.
Okay.
It's called College of North Atlantic.
Yes.
So went there, did my IT, and after I graduated, I started working.
Was that something that you wanted to go into, or was that something that
No, I wanted to go into because I was looking at, while I was with my dad, while I was in school, I used to work with my dad, in the nighttime and stuff. So I used to go and surf on internet. Most of my time I was sitting in admin, and I've been watching these tech companies coming up every time. Like, Facebook was coming out that time and stuff. So I was like, okay, you know what? I see the tech industry is going somewhere. I'll go learn some basic stuff, and after that, I'll figure out something. So I went to College of North Atlantic, took IT, studied all the basic stuff, like hardware, software, coding and stuff.
And what was that experience with the College of North Atlantic? Was that a good experience?
No, it was a very great experience. It was more, what College of North Atlantic did for me was they gave me the critical mindset thinking of how to solve certain problems. Like, they basically will give you the basic, and then afterwards you figure out your life after that.
Wow, okay.
But I know there's a lot of students after they graduate, they're expecting to get a job, which I tell them, listen, nobody's going to give you a job.
Why not?
No, because think about this. A lot of companies in Doha hire a lot of experienced people. And a lot of these students want to work for corporation where they don't know, they don't see there's a private sector out there. Go work for them for like, say, 3,000, 4,000 a month.
Oh, so they were expecting to go into big
corporation like Qatar Airways.
Oh, well, fair enough, yeah.
We're talking about Qatar Airways, QP, all the government entity. But they don't look at the private sector. Private sector is making a lot of push out there now.
Absolutely, yeah.
So a lot of students don't look at that. So for me, I went and joined my dad after school. I just wanted to understand the basic stuff, the basic business stuff, how to, the operation side and everything. So he was in the construction business. So I stayed with him for 2-3 years, helped him around, figured out something. And then I decided to go and start my own startup. So I went in one night in my dad's office and I told him, listen, I know me and you don't have the same mindset. Like you want to do this and you want to grow this. But I think the people that were working for you for a long time, they deserve this position than me. I know you were expecting me to take over this business, but...
No, so your dad was expecting you to follow in his
footstep. And I was not the right person for that. So I was like, I had other...
How did he take it?
Yeah, like typical dad, like upset and a little bit...
Have you got any brothers and sisters?
Yeah, I got brothers.
Could he look to the other ones?
The other ones, like, there was another brother who works as an engineer.
Yeah.
So basically, my dad actually wanted him to have more experience in there. So he's working for a big company. So past 5-6 years, he's been working. He's a project manager in a couple of companies. So he
could come back.
He could come. He could be the guy.
But then you all could come back at some point.
But I was more fascinated about technology. I was fascinated changing the world. I had other dreams and other things going on in my head. So I was like, Dad, I respect what you're doing. I respect you. But how about this? If I fail, I'm going to come back. And it's a great lesson for me,
Absolutely.
And he was like, all right, go ahead and just do it. Yeah. So I had a little money left in my account.
Yeah, but what were you planning? Where was the light bulb moment? You say you wanted to do your own thing, but what was it?
I'll be honest, if you want really, I didn't know what I was doing. So I just started the company and I was like looking for ideas for that time. I didn't have no plan, no nothing. It was unstructured, anything. It was typical stuff. So I was looking at e-commerce business.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, this is a great idea. I can actually write the code. I actually can build the platform in a month and a week, say a month and a week. I can build a platform and figure out. So I built the platform instead of looking at the business side.
Okay,
so I didn't do the product market fit. I just went build the product, and I went in, and guess what happens? There was no more. There was like very few users coming.
Well,
in.
yeah,
because I didn't see the market side. But this is a long learning, so I will complete this. Tell you the whole story.
Okay, yeah.
So I did that, and I've just noticed I was sitting on the web, and I was like, okay, now I'm going to create the ads. I'm going to push it. The problem was, it's not the product, it's the market that doesn't want that stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I was like, there was no need in that. But what happened was...
Yeah, but hold on. You created a platform, but what did it do? And you said it's e-commerce.
E-commerce. So I was selling electronic stuff. Basically, I started with electronics. So I went to all the vendors, and I was like, okay, get me. But the problem was with the vendors, this is the most hilarious. They were giving me their price, and anyone could go and buy anything from the store. So that was a real failed business. So I was so a little bit out of my mind. And so I go back home one day, and I didn't want to see my dad. So I skipped on him for 3 weeks. So I remember his general manager called me up and said, how you doing? How's everything? The guy, I let him to be the guy who's running my dad's company now.
Yeah.
It's the guy who, So he calls me and he tells me, come by the office. So I was expecting in my mind that he's going to help me with something, or he'll give me an idea to fix my problem.
Right.
So I go in the office, I sit down there with a failed business going on in my head, spend so much time and money into it, hired a bunch of freelancer developers to work with me. So in my mind, I'm thinking like, okay, this is not the moment. Like, so he talks to me, he's like, how's the business? I'm like, it's not going the way I wanted to go. So he said, hey, listen, I want to introduce you somebody, and forget the business you're doing. Let's get into, and this is when it was blockage. This was like right in the blockage moment.
Oh, the blockade.
The blockade moment. And guess what happened? He was like, forget about this business. There's a demand in the business. It's called avocado. We can get in. I was like, dude, I am not getting into that business. I'm going to figure out something else. He's like, while you're figuring out, how about I make some income for you?
Yeah.
And I was
so
like,
hold on, what avocado? You mean
the vegetable avocado
yeah,
from bringing from Africa, from Kenya and stuff. He said, I will introduce you somebody. So that somebody was my co-founder now of 9to5.
Okay.
He was sitting down. I'm like, oh, so he introduced me to the guy, and he left the office. He introduced me to the guy. I said to the guy, so you're in the avocado business for a very long time. He's like, no, I know somebody that runs the avocado business. I'm a tech guy.
Oh.
I work for SAP, SAP, ERP system.
Yeah.
So I looked at him and I was like, then why did he introduce? He said, you might know somebody, So we sat down and we started talking. Me and him, we started talking about it. And he said, hey, how about I pass by your office tomorrow? I said, come. So he comes back, my co-founder comes back next day to my office, and we sit down and we were like, I'm telling him about my failed business, like properly. He's like, okay, let's do something else. He said, so he started talking to me about a product that is working in Europe and working in America. And he said, if we can implement here, we can scale up fast. So it was SAP and Oracle support. It's called third-party support.
Okay.
Basically what happened is a lot of companies, they buy these ERP systems, like SAP systems and Oracle system. And in their contract, there is every year you pay 22% on 22% for support, maintenance and support. It's like the second tier support. Means the first tier support are people in the office. If they could not fix the problem, they will send it to SAP on a customer service and stuff. And I told him, hey, this is a great idea. So same mistake I did again, build a product. So again, I learned this mistake. This is the most funny. I built a product.
Yeah.
I built the product first. And it took us 4 weeks to build it. It was simple API integrations. We had an API integration, 4 weeks. We built it. Now we started going to market. So I started collecting. I found out who all have SAP in Qatar.
Yeah.
I know who all have Oracle. If you put SAP consultants in Qatar, it will show you each and every company in LinkedIn.
Okay.
So I collected all the lead, started calling the CIOs of the company, and we had meetings. I've realized out of the 4 meetings, like around, I think 7 meetings, only 3 CIO actually understood our product. They actually understood our product. They loved it. But the problem with those 3 clients, they could not take our product because they were upgrading to S4HANA. Oh. So our product only works with the ECC. It doesn't work with the new technology. Basically, every new technology that comes out, it takes 2 years. You should stay with the vendor till the codes and everything gets fixed. And then afterwards. So 3 were upgrading, but 3 loved our idea. The rest didn't understood it. So we were like, all right. Out of those 3 clients, they came to us one day. In the same meeting, they told us, do you have SAP consultants we would like to hire? I looked at my guy, and my guy looked at me. They're like, hey, yeah, we can recruit for you, so no problem. So we went to a friend called a recruiter who used to work for Adecco, ex-Deco. So we know him as a recruiter. We went to him, his name is Yassine. So we told Yassine, can you get us all the resume of all these people for this position? He was like, I can do it. So Yassine came to the office, we were sitting down, and we were looking at how Yassine is working. He's going, putting job post. waiting for candidates to come into the platform. Then he vets them. The whole process till the person gets hired, it was a 1 month process.
And
I was like, why cannot there be a solution to solve this problem?
Yeah.
And he was like, there's no solution. This is the traditional way. This is the way it's going to work.
And that was your aha moment.
And this is what the ha moment came.
Yeah.
That was the moment when we noticed. And now we didn't want to go build a product.
No,
now,
I can imagine. It's just like,
wait. Now what we did was I took around 25 HR managers emails. I emailed them. Sat down with them, started asking them questions.
You did your market research.
So I started asking them what was the real problem they're facing, or how much time are you spending on sourcing, how many time you take on interview, what is the headaches that you have on other platforms. So now we collected all that internal data. We were like, okay, now we took the internal data from the company side. Let's go to candidate side. So guess what we did? It's kind of not the right way, but we did this way. We went and created jobs and we said, everybody come to this and let's interview you. While they came into the interview, we said to them, listen, this is not an actual interview. What we will pay you for research and we'll pay your cab if you don't mind.
And were they all right with that?
They were happy with it.
Okay.
Yeah, so we paid their cab, we paid them for research. Okay. So we started asking them
questions. So they didn't feel like they wasted their time.
Yeah, they didn't waste the time. So we asked them, so when you're looking for a job, what are the things you're looking from? Yeah. I know when I'm looking for a job, but my opinion might not be.
No, absolutely.
So I said, let me go collect a data research of all these candidates, or different candidates from different position. So we collected those data, we put it together, and now we built the product out of it.
Nice.
So what happened is when we built the product, we did the pre-launch, and we pre-launched it in Web Summit in Portugal, Lisbon. And next thing we know is like, companies from New York, startups were like asking us, can we use your platform? And we were like, why not? Let's go.
So this platform is like what do they call it? Like a white label where you can basically sell it to any kind of company.
So basically it's a marketplace platform. So candidates, they come into the platform, they put their resume and stuff. And
but who is your main competitors? Is it like Bait.com?
So right now, we don't have a direct competition in the Middle East because Bait is a job board. LinkedIn is a social media and job board.
Yeah.
We are a marketplace. We are hybrid. So we are a database plus we are matching, recruiting at the same time. So we are like job board and recruiting put together.
Okay.
Like recruitment agency.
Yeah.
So we put together, it's a hybrid model.
Right.
So that model, nobody in the Middle East. In America, yes, we do have like 3 competition in America. But in the Middle East, we're just the only one.
All right. Go through it then. Just go through how it works.
Okay. So candidates, they come to our platform.
Yes.
So they sign up in our platform.
Do they have to pay anything?
No, free. It's free for them. It's free for them to come in. So what we do is we pre-vet them. So it means a recruiter in our company will look at their resume, the quality, how's their resume, how's everything, and we vet them.
And
they stay on the database. They stay on the platform.
But when you say vet them, what? Okay, if I put I give you my CV, or do I have to fill in a CV form?
No, you have to come basically like how you go on LinkedIn and fill out the stuff. Yeah. It's similar thing.
Okay.
But you get a verification tick. Means you're a qualified candidate, highly qualified candidate. Because think about this: if you go on Bait and there are a lot of people apply to a job.
Yeah.
That is exactly not.
Oh, I get a lot.
Yes, so thousands of people.
Yeah, absolutely.
But what we are doing for companies, we're giving you a batch of 5 people or 6 people qualified. Okay. And plus, when we match it, the AI matches, you just press send interview request, and that interview request, you can put the date and time, and that's it. And it goes to the candidate. The candidate accepts it on the platform. They go to the meeting, they interview the person, and they say hire or pass the candidate.
Okay.
Simple. So we solved that problem. We reduced that month, the whole 1 month of work, up to days of work. Now somebody can hire. If anybody comes in our platform, they can get a batch 1 or batch 2, batch 3. It will take them 5-6 days to hire the person.
Yeah.
Because we already pre-vet them. We already did that. Companies does the last interview. That's it.
When you say vet them, is there like a bot that kind of goes through and basically picks out keywords, what's it looking for?
So the bot looks at looks at the keywords and everything, and the way the resume is, also the quality of resume. So AI understands the quality of the resume.
Yeah, but when you say quality, is it looking at qualifications, or is it looking at the experience?
It's looking at qualification. It's looking at how is well written is job, like, you know, each company that they work, what they did is, like, say for example, a marketer. I'm a senior acquisition marketer. It will see the details of how the person writes. Yes, the last quarter we had this much in our company. So if it is like that, written in that way and detailed wise, those are qualified ones. The AI automatically qualifies. But the ones AI cannot qualify, there's a human recruiter that will vet that resume and gives them a verification.
So the human recruiter goes after the bot?
If the bot didn't understood how the quality of the resume. We have human intelligence in it. We cannot let AI does the whole work.
No, I can imagine.
Because AI is like you're raising a baby. It's just it learns from the behavior of your recruiter, how they're doing. So what we're trying to save time is for recruiter not to vet 20,000-30,000 CV a day. It's a headache for them.
No, for sure.
But the bot will do the basic stuff, and if they see how well written the resume is, they give them a verification right away.
And on the other side, for the company side, what are they?
They will add their job board, the job description.
What about if that's not very detailed?
It's
quite generic.
So if it's quite generic, our recruiter will go and sit down with the company, help them to build the good job description. And then match it together.
Right.
Basically, we have to do the manual work at the very early stage of the company. But in the later stage, what happens is when a company comes into our job description, if they write it bad, it will show them this is 30 out of 100. It's not very good. So make it better.
Okay.
You get me? And if they cannot make it better, there's a button. Send me your recruiter, or let them help us to do it. So they will do the job description for them, and once it goes 100 out of 100, it looks like good quality, then the match can happen.
And are companies paying for this service? Is that how you make the money? Yes, the companies are
paying for the service.
Okay, and how is that based?
So the companies are paying on success hire. So if they have somebody hired through our platform, they pay us a fees of around from 12 to 15% of annual salary.
Okay.
So basically, it's a good win for them, because instead of them going and taking other job boards, which basically you have a company here, how much do you guys spend on job boards?
Well, generally, I to be honest, I advertise on LinkedIn, and I get a good response, and that I get charged per candidate that comes through. Granted, 15 to 20% are just random.
But another good question I would like to ask you, is it going to tell you exactly where this person is, what his visa status is, what exactly he is, what is his nationality?
It does give me all that information, but I do have to vet it more, and I generally send an email just to anyone that has the experience that I'm looking for. Then I will see where they're currently located. Half the time it's a bit deceiving, because their last place of work isn't actually where they're actually living now. So I send I send an email out and just say, look, where are you currently located? Because then I'm thinking, okay, well, I have to ideally I would like to find someone local, but if it's further afield, then
But how long does it take you, Ahmed?
Well, it does take me.
With us, it takes
few weeks,
a month. With us, it basically we vet everything, we did everything. All you got to do is interview the person.
I know.
So you just press one button and interview the person. That's it.
There is another question. I have had a situation years and years back when I was first starting out running a business. Is that someone sent me a superb CV. I couldn't fault it, and it was just like, wow, he has got an amazing experience, and he was willing to come on board in a startup company.
Okay.
But I soon realized, maybe a month after he started, that what he had on his CV didn't match his experience.
Exactly, and that's the biggest problem that all the companies are having right now. So what we do is we do reference check. We tell them,
you
hey,
actually go back.
When we are giving them a tick mark, verify, like how Twitter has that verification, we actually look back and we go back in the history. We're like, okay, give me who's your manager. And not only that, we take his manager, because, you know, everybody can give you anybody. It might be their friend.
Absolutely.
So what we do is we go back to the old company. So we look at the managers who were there in the company in that time, and we send them an email, tell them, hey, listen, if you don't mind 5 minutes of your time, I would like to ask. They will be like, do you know this person, so and so? In the company, they'll be like, yes, I know him. What do you think about him? You know. So then we ask another 3 more other people in that company. Exactly. So whatever he gave us, we'll also check, but we'll do our research on the back end. So basically, we give them a verified, because we know that the person is legit for the work. And even also when we check the person also by the tone of their interview. So while our recruiter calls them up, they ask them some sets of questions. You get me? And ask them,
for the candidate.
Yeah, for the
candidate. So you actually interview them.
Yeah, we actually interview. And to get the verification. To get verified, you gotta go through some processes. So that's why our platform, we have only highly qualified candidates.
Okay.
We don't have like everybody just coming into our platform.
Yeah.
Our platform, only 30% gets into it. The rest don't come in.
Okay.
So that's...
So you said you had a successful soft launch in Portugal.
Yes, we had the successful...
When was that?
That was on... when was the Web Summit? It was on November
of last year.
Last year, yeah. It was the biggest conference in the tech industry.
Yeah.
So it's like, it was around like, I think it was around like 130,000 people all around the world showing up into that place. We had a booth, we had everything. We launched it right there. And
what's the journey been since?
The journey been since that, okay, the journey is a good journey. It's not like the problem I used to have. So let me explain you why
well,
it's a good
now
journey.
You've created a platform that people want to use.
But look at what happened. This is the most funniest thing. So we were in Lisbon. We were hanging out and we were meeting investors. We were meeting people. So now we saw a lot of companies in New York very interested. So we're like, okay, we don't have an office there. We don't have, but these companies are wanted developers, us to match with them developers, and they're scaling up also. So we were like, okay, I have an idea. So in America, the infrastructure is so easy. You can go on LegalZoom, create you can create a company. So once you create a company, you can go and get, the tax number, everything. Plus then afterwards, you can get a virtual office there. So Regis is there, they have their virtual office there. So we got a virtual office. Now we cooperated the company. We started working on the clients. They asked us, they were looking for a Java developer, software developers, product managers. We just go on the platform. We have API integration with all the job boards and all the recruiters. So we started vetting all these candidates. We're matching it, and next thing we know, we're getting paid for it. Even also not the full product is not out until now. Yeah. Our full product is going to be launched by the end of this month. The full product now
in America,
the beta,
or
no,
just
everywhere,
worldwide. Okay. Yeah.
But on the beta version, because we didn't want to scale up so fast, because we don't want to break down, because we're working on the platform.
Yeah, so but who's funding this?
So this funding, apparently what happened was, when we came up with this idea, we worked on this idea. I actually went to my dad and I told him, listen.
Oh, good old dad.
Yeah, I was like, Dad, listen, I want to raise a round and you were going to benefit out of it. Think about this. I told him, I'm going to give you a couple of good shares, and tomorrow, like all the big startups, you're going to be good. So he's told me, okay, tell me your cost of acquisition, tell me your cost of this, so I explained him the business model, and he was like, okay, now I'm not looking at you as a son. I'll look at you as a businessman, because I respect that idea you gave me and the cost-wise and stuff, because he's a numbers guy.
But did he know about your, failures beforehand?
Yes, and he was watching. He was watching from a distance.
But he could see that you were on the right track this time.
And you know what? His general manager was doing all the tracking. So, so he was telling him everything. He was like, he failed in this, but he's succeeding in this. Because what I did was I brought him in on board and showed him where we are, what we're doing with the platform, how we can scale up. Because the reason why I needed the funding is to hire all these freelancer developers to actually start coding, hire product manager to actually understand the both side, which I understand, but I need his help. So me and my co-founder, we just been focusing on working this day and night. And then we said, hey, let's try also Doha. Why not, So in Doha, we tried it with 2-3 companies. They loved it.
Yeah.
They were like, okay, so you're telling me I don't need to do sourcing? I said, no, just put the job description. We'll vet the candidates. We'll match you. All you got to do, Mr. Klein, interview the candidate. That's it. We'll give you a batch out of 5. Set a meeting with them. And out of 5, if you didn't like the 5, we'll give you another 5 till it satisfies you. Mr. Klein, you don't need to pay me a penny. How about this? Pay me when you hire the person.
Yeah, absolutely.
They loved it.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, the guy, the second interview he had, he liked the guy. He was like, I'm done. I need this guy. Wow. This guy is on board. So now it worked here.
Yeah.
It worked in America.
Yeah.
Now all we got to focus now is to raise another big round, just to increase the team, bring in marketing team, bring in sales team.
But where are all these teams? Are they, they remote?
Okay, so my software developers are all around the world. So my QA guys in Lisbon, the head of software engineer, the architect is in India, the backend engineer is in America.
Yeah.
So we're working because we built a small infrastructure, like we have Slack. It's a very best way of communication. Yeah. Probably you guys use Slack too.
No, I tried it, but
you didn't like it?
I didn't like it.
I like the Slack because I can see what's going on in the company. So if I put hashtag developers, I know what they're all working on.
I think if you got like a remote team, I think it's perfect for
that. Yeah. So basically we have that, and now we hired 2 more people now in the company now in Qatar, salespeople. So basically they just go out there, talk to companies, that, show them the product, show them the value.
Yeah.
So the value we are adding, end of the day, we're telling companies, even not corporate, also startups. You're like, hey, listen, you focus on your business. You're an entrepreneur. You don't have time to recruit people. Let us do this.
Yeah, but you say startups, but startups don't have, the money to, pay you 15-20% for a year's salary.
But what we do is we tell them, okay, with startups, we tell them, hey, listen, instead of paying us 15%, how about this, pay us 1% for every month?
Okay, that's easier.
Every month, pay me 1% till 12 months. Yeah. And we're good.
Oh, that's good.
How about that?
Yeah.
Because there is a solution for all my problems. I always say to myself, I've never seen, everybody says, oh, there's this problem. There is a solution for all these problems.
Yeah, no, for sure.
I told my guys, listen, if it's a startup, they're not willing, no problem. We need them as a customer because you know why? We want to show them that we are adding value and we are flexible with pricing. I'll give you a good example. There are a lot of big corporations from Europe and America are not doing great in the Middle East because they're not flexible. No. I'll tell you why they're not flexible with pricing. They're not flexible because the sales guy has to talk to his country manager. Country manager needs to go take a permission from regional manager. Regional manager has to go and take permission from so-and-so. By the time it goes, you lost interest in the client.
No, for sure.
Do you wonder why great companies like Uber could not do great in Middle East and Careem has won? And Careem got acquired yesterday.
I saw the news.
Careem got acquired. You know why Careem got acquired? Because they understood the fundamental problem in the MENA region.
They did. Yeah.
Because now a taxi driver who's sitting in the front and the customer at the back, they don't understand each other, but they build a call center between them.
Yeah.
So now you can call the person and the person is talking to the person at the same time and explaining them what the customer wants.
Okay.
That was Uber's biggest problem. Uber brought the European American mindset, market mindset to the Middle East, and it didn't actually work.
Yeah.
They did the same thing in China. They got kicked out by Didi.
No, I know, yeah, absolutely.
The Didi, guess what? took them out of the market, and guess what? They took their money and invested in Kareem. And but now Kareem got acquired. Good job, the guys. You know, they've been working for 5-6 years. They've been working on building, but they built a brand and they've solved the fundamental problem. So a lot of companies here, startups really need to understand that, hey, if you have any idea that worked outside, it will actually work here. But you just need to figure out the fundamental problem.
Yeah. No, for sure.
And Kareem, like, good luck. They figured out, and now they're giving startups like us hope that, hey, you know, a giant company like Uber can come and acquire a startup.
Is that the plan? Is that your future goal?
I don't want to say that, but I don't know.
I think you might have given something away there.
You know, it's just an idea. I saw how they did it. So for me, end of the day is me adding value to customer, adding value to talent. And for me, all I got to focus now is branding on content, adding a lot of content out there on social media. Because for me, content is very important because that it will educate my audience. It will educate the companies. It will tell them exactly. Like I had a company the other day sitting down with us, and they're like, oh, our turnover is very high. And I was like, okay, let me see why it's high. The problem is, the structure, they put out a mission statement, a mission statement, vision statement, and they don't follow that.
They don't follow it. So you're actually going to go in or you're going to produce content to give advice about
companies how to do good on their side. Like, you know, we have our blog, we have our LinkedIn, we have all these platforms where millions of people are on it.
Absolutely.
Today you can communicate with everybody in like 10 seconds. You know, you can push your message. It's not like back in the days you have to wait for that message. It was like TV were controlling everything. Now it's like, probably I have in my phone right now, I probably have like 10, 20, 30 apps on my phone right now.
Sure.
So for me, what I need to focus is on branding, educating our the clients, and educating the talent, how to prepare themselves for interviews, how to prepare yourself for how to put your CV good, how to do things great, you know, because I'd rather have 20 people love me than rather have 1,000 people just like me.
Yeah, for sure.
You get me?
Yeah.
So I tell clients, like, focus on branding. A lot of companies here in Qatar have problem with branding, like the biggest problem. Like, I'll tell you right now, there are billion-dollar companies in Qatar. Their website, I feel sorry for them.
Don't even get me started. I've seen, I've dealt with a lot of clients that,
but they don't understand that.
No, they don't.
They don't get, now they're complaining about why talents are not coming, great talents are not joining us. Because basically, look, the talent, first thing he's going to do is going to go on Google and write your company name and see your website. His expectation on that, first thing he'll be like, okay.
Well, website, social media.
All that stuff. And they will talent, actually, they think, that we pay heavy salary, or they will come and join us. No, some people are not all about the money always. Some people want to see if they can advance in the career in the company. They can see if they can reach somewhere in the company. But if you don't focus on branding your company, like on LinkedIn, and talk about what you guys do, exactly how you guys do, for the sake of God, just do your website correct. Because if you don't have a good design website, how do you expect people to come and be very excited to work for you?
No.
Do you know why companies like Kareem or Souk.com, why everybody is so excited to work with that startup? Because they build brand, they build the website, they build content, they give out content. I think they give out like 10 content per week out there. So it's the reverse, that talent are chasing you. You're not chasing talent anymore.
Yeah.
You get me? It's a lot of company. And what do you think about it? Am I correct in it, or my opinions are wrong?
No, you're spot on. I've had big corporations where they spent billions on their brand identity. And then you go on to their social media and they're filming stuff on their iPhones, and, it just doesn't match. You got to be consistent across the whole board about, the brand message, the quality.
This is the biggest problem in this industry. In
but then, they don't value, content. I don't feel they value the the
That's
kind of quality.
Exactly 100% correct.
Yeah.
And you know what? If they don't focus on that, and we're moving in the digital transformation right now, trust me, those companies are going to die.
No, absolutely.
They're going to die.
Yeah, but
they're going to die, and there are new companies that are going to come out.
But then they've had that easy because there hasn't been competition in the market. There's been.
Do you know why the competition didn't happen? I'll tell you why. There were not people like us having great ideas to build a company, and if we had the funding, we would probably, I'm not saying probably, could do way greater than all the other companies.
Yeah, but now things are changing. Now there is a whole move for entrepreneurship.
Now entrepreneurship is
Absolutely.
big, and now funding, now investors all around the world started waking up after this acquisition happened. People are like, oh, all right, Talabat got acquired for 150.
Yeah, that's true. There's
and then afterwards, Souk.com got acquired, and now Kareem got acquired. Now all the investors around the world are now putting their eye on MENA region startups. Yeah. So, and MENA region startups, they understand what the content, the important, the important thing is the content.
Yeah.
Like big corporation, I'll be very honest with you. Let's be real about it. All these big corporations you see in Qatar, are they privately owned or is the government? Let's go back to the core problem.
Yeah.
It's government owns those companies, and guess what happens? These people are going to go there as an employee to work for those companies.
It's the biggest attraction.
And those employees, they really don't care about it. They're not getting a equity in it. They're not getting no shares in it. They're like, hey, I'm just an employee. I'll do my part. I'll go home. I'll sit 9 o'clock in the morning, leave 5 o'clock. I'll just did my part and stuff. But look at this, a private entity who are getting funded, they're like, hey, listen, we don't want to go spend too much money on heavy marketing. Let's growth hack this.
Yeah.
Let's figure out how can we hack this. Let's figure out how can we do it correctly. How can we reduce our cost of acquisition this much? That's how they're thinking.
Yeah.
Because they're thinking about, okay, let's focus on content. Let's focus on how to, like a lot of private companies, they look at these 6 things, which is brand awareness, acquisition, activation, retention, revenue, referrals.
Yeah.
So they focus on those funnels. But governments, companies that are owned by government, they really don't focus because they're getting a budget. What is the budget? Like heavy, huge budget. Yeah. Hey, let's go spend it on it. And when they spend on it, they go hire for you. For one person who could do the work, they will hire for you 3 person right there.
No, you're right.
I mean, this is exactly the problem right here. So I say those companies are going to die soon. They are not for the long term because all these startups are going to show up, will growth hack it. Look at Talabat. It's a small startup. Now look at them. They started acquiring Carriage. They started acquiring Zomato.
Yeah.
They became into a multi-million-dollar company because you know why? They growth hacked it at the very early stage of the company. They said, "Listen, we're not going to go spend $2 million reals on advertisement on the street. How about we go spend it on ads? So we do a retargeting ads on our user, and our user will give them a referral, which is a referral funnel. Say, hey, we'll give you a discount of 15, 20, 30 real if you refer it to us." So they growth hacked the whole process, and that's how much users they have. That's how much that is the biggest problem we have with corporation. Corporation, they think, oh, okay, yeah, we're making this much money, but sooner or later, look at Toys R Us.
Yep.
They went bankrupt. They're out of the game now. Toys R Us is out. Amazon just took them over. Why? Because Amazon said, hey, listen, let's figure out how to get all these bookstores and these stores and these toys. And Jeff Bezos did it correctly. He bankrupted most of these businesses, but it's not his fault. A lot of people are complaining him about this. He just did it the right way because he decided, I'm going to put my cost of acquisition very low, and I'm going to figure out how to hack this.
Yeah,
that's it. It's simple and easy.
Thank you, Ahmed.
Thank you very much.
We've run out of time, I'm afraid.
No problem. But I like talking to you. You're a marketing guy. You know how to...
Absolutely. And I definitely have to have you on the show again.
No, for sure, for sure.
I'm sure we can
talk more about other stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
So thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
And we'll catch up with you next week. Take care. Bye-bye.